What is a burnout? It's a state of physical, emotional, mental, and even spiritual exhaustion where your body and brain go on strike and your own personal care has been sacrificed in the pursuit of outward reward or approval. In other words, the whole world's problem gets resolved. Then one day you're going to take care of your physical, emotional, mental, spiritual needs. Exhaustion or burnout is considered a sign of weakness or inefficient. In fact, Brené Brown, I love her quote when she says that it takes courage to say yes to rest and play in a culture where exhaustion is seen as a status symbol. All the festivals everywhere in the world were meant to keep us in alignment with the cycles and rhythms of life. Why do we burn out? The number one reason in the realm of spirituality is you are not following your Swadharma, trying to be someone you are not. Now, to understand Swadharma, you must understand what is. Welcome to our membership event, Signs of Burnout, and why it is important to recognize it, not only in ourselves, but in people around us and what we can do about it. But before we start, please let's do an invocation. Bring your left palm, right palm together, your logical mind, intuitive mind, come together, touch your heart to activate your Anahata chakra. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Aim Saraswate Namaha. Om Namah Narayanaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvisha vahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. May the Supreme Consciousness protect us all, nourish us all, vitalize us all, enlighten us all. May there be no misunderstandings between us, and may we bring forth our best energy to this session today. May there be peace in the cosmic realm, peace on earth and peace within. So it is by the grace of God and Guru, so it is. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Open your eyes. So we'll follow the same pattern. I'll just talk about from a personal coaching standpoint, spiritual standpoint, what burnout is and how we can notice it and what we can do about it. And then we'll open it up we'll do a short meditation, very short meditation, and then open it up for question and answers. So what is a burnout? It's a state of physical, emotional, mental, and even spiritual exhaustion where your body and brain go on strike. And basically what it means is why you experience it because your own personal care has been sacrificed in the pursuit of an outward reward or approval, whether it is self-imposed or imposed by somebody else. That means everybody and everything is more important than you. Your well-being must be on the back burner, must wait until everybody else's problem. In other words, the whole world's problem gets resolved. Then one day you're going to take care of your physical, emotional, mental, spiritual needs. So what are the signs of burnout? Fatigue is a clear sign of burnout. Detachment, cynicism, pessimism, not having a positive outlook on life, forgetfulness, inattention, forgetting, even though you are young and nowhere near old age where you can excuse your forgetfulness, inattention, lack of joy in anything. Most worrisome is apathy. Don't give a damn, don't care. Dread. Many people have dread, reduced efficiency. The harder you work, the less you're able to create. You put in the hours, but the result is not commensurate with the efforts you put in. Isolation and conflict between people, your family members, loved ones at work, and conflict within. Now, why if it is so, all these symptoms are so terrible, we experience it, or we know people who are people close to us, people we love, people we work with, some or many of these symptoms are present, then why don't we deal with it in a timely manner? Sooner or later we do, whenever you cannot ignore it anymore. But why we don't? Because exhaustion or burnout is considered a sign of weakness or inefficient. In fact, Brené Brown, I love her quote when she says that it takes courage to say yes to rest and play in a culture where exhaustion is seen as a status symbol. How much when we say, oh, I'm exhausted, I'm working so hard, we may say that, but inside there is a level of some sort of a pride that we can work so hard. And so just saying that, oh, I want to take time off, I want to just do nothing, you will be considered lazy and inefficient. And also we think that if we can work just a little bit longer, just a little bit harder, just we will reach that elusive goal, whatever it is, personal life, professional life. And in the process, we have become a nation, actually a world, but certainly in America, a nation of exhausted and overstressed adults raising overscheduled kids. Every moment is asked for. You cannot give any downtime. Boredom is considered bad. Actually, boredom is a very expensive energy. To be able to be bored means who can be, if you're in a survival mode, you can't be bored. If you're on the run all the time, you can't be bored. Boredom gives you an opportunity to go within. So that, and another thing is we think that, we don't need professional help for burnout. I mean, who needs, you must be really weak or lazy or inefficient if you need help. Just a short break, just take a break, go on a vacation, everything is going to get fixed. But it doesn't get fixed. You're just delaying the process because you're not going to the root cause of burnout, which is stress. Now, stress is the primary cause. Any doctor today's world, modern medicine has accepted it, is the primary cause of many chronic and autoimmune diseases, which ancient medicine, Ayurveda, Chinese medicine knew it. But modern medicine is on board with it, that it's the primary cause of most chronic and autoimmune diseases. So what is stress in the world of personal development? An underlying sense of fear that arises when you are out of alignment with your own basic nature and out of sync with the cycles and rhythms of life. We have forgotten that all the festivals everywhere in the world were meant to keep us in alignment with the cycles and rhythms of life. But nobody participates or honors or follows these festivals except for the commercial value, whether it is Christmas, whether it is Diwali, whether it is Holi, just buy and spend and enjoy, not understanding why those festivals are there, because they help us sink in with the cycles and rhythms of nature. Then what happens when we are stressed out? This adrenal gland that controls our fight or flight, which is a stress response, is meant to be a spare tire in a car. When you have a flat, you get a spare tire. It's meant to take you short distance until you repair the main tire. But if you keep on driving on a cross country with your spare tire, what will happen? The car will just park in the middle of the road and not move. Same with us. When we are stressed and we think a short vacation will do it, or keep pushing, power through, power up, this is exactly what happens, because when our adrenal glands are activated, the blood flow goes from the major heart and brain and major organs to our legs and arms, the big muscle groups that is primarily conditioned to help us fight or flee. And so what happens? We cannot think properly, we cannot feel properly, and our organs go out of function. So this stress is something that we all know. We are stressed, stress is bad, but we don't understand what is causing the stress. That is where that spirituality, personal coaching comes in. Of course, there is a medical element to it, which you must consult the medical doctors. We are not giving medical advice here, but there are also personal issues, spiritual issues. Why do we burn out? The number one reason in the realm of spirituality is that you are not following your Swadharma, trying to be someone you are not. Now, to understand Swadharma, you must understand what is Dharma. Swa is my. Dharma. And we have so many definitions. There is no English word that can come close to explaining what is dharma. But if we must attempt, dharma, it is said, dharate iti dharma, that which upholds the basic nature, essence of something. And everybody, every human being is like a snowflake. We are not like animals. We're not plant world, that one animal in a species is like all other animals. We are not. Every individual is extremely unique. And if we don't recognize that, don't make an effort to recognize that, then you cannot follow your Swadharma. So you have started the process of disassociation, which will eventually end up in burnout. Then the delta between where you are and where you want to be. Always there is a gap. You are somewhere, physically, mentally, emotionally, wealth-wise, whatever, but you want to be somewhere else. Never happy for what you have, always looking for something else in the future, tomorrow. That will cause, because you're perpetually playing catch up, tomorrow, just that right weight, just that right money, just that right person, just that contract, just that whatever. So there is a mismatch there. Then at 3 levels in all our sessions, we talk about body, mind, and intellect, or mental level. So at the body level, there is an elemental blueprint. We are made up of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. And the permutation and combination in Ayurveda says there are 3 major categories of personalities. That is Vata, Pitta, Kapha. If you don't make an attempt to understand what is your elemental blueprint, are you mostly water, mostly air, mostly fire, you will always be out of sync, and you will eventually very quickly burn out. So that is at the body level. At the mind level, there is an emotional blueprint which chakra system enables. We have done so many workshops on chakra, because like Maslow talks about the pyramid of self-actualization, understanding that we have various needs, and if those needs are not fulfilled, you jump over and go to the higher needs, you will burn out, because basic needs have not been fulfilled. Or the other side, you're stuck in the basic needs, survival mode. You are not even able to think and make an attempt to go. So that is an emotional blueprint. And then finally, at the intellectual, spiritual level, according to Vedanta, it's called Varna Ashrama Dharma. Your nature and your position in society. Are you a young child? Are you a young adult? Are you a middle-aged person? Are you a retired person? Are you an old person? All this will determine, if you don't understand what your nature is and your society, your slot, your personal slot and social slot, what happens is it will determine your fate and free will. Because the minute you think that everything is fate, then you won't make any effort. You will burn out even sooner. Once you understand that you create your reality, there is a interplay between fate and free will, you get more control over your life and less burnout. Of course, yoga is there, which most modern world used to thought it's just exercise. But yoga, the root word is yug, which means uniting. There is, your body and mind have split. How to bring them back into union? If you don't bring them back into union, you're too obsessed with the body or too obsessed with the mind, then you will have a burnout. Now, like we talked about, out of alignment at the body level, elemental composition, not understanding what is my basic element composition between air, water, fire, earth, all that determines my personality. Dosha, it is called in Ayurveda. That determines your food, your sleep, and your stress response. Not everybody should eat the same food. Not everybody can sleep the same. They say 8 hours of sleep. No, just eat salad. No, you will burn out. If you're a Vata and you're eating salads, you will burn out. If you're a Kapha and you sleep 8 hours, you will burn out. How much you sleep, what you eat is determined by your elemental composition. Plus, your stress response. Not everybody responds to stress the same way. Whether you fight, whether you flee, whether you freeze, depends on your elemental. If you're supposed to flee and somebody is telling you stay and fight, you will burn out. If you're supposed to fight and somebody says just run, you will burn out, because it's going against your nature. And then at the mental level, out of alignment, when we are talking, the mental disposition talks about your work and recreation. What work will give you that joy, that motivation that you can keep going? You work very hard, but you don't feel a burnout. You don't feel you're working hard, even though you're putting in the hours, because you're in alignment with your mental predisposition. And your recreation also, how much recreation you need, and whether you are a social personality, whether you should go to parties and meet with people, or whether you're a hermit like a person, whether your energy comes from being an extrovert or introvert, depends on your mental disposition. No one of them is right or wrong, good or bad. So if you don't understand, if you take an introvert and keep putting him or her in a social environment, they'll burn out. If you take an extrovert and make them just sit at home and meditate all the time, they will burn out. So this is the mental predisposition. And then the spiritual level, understanding whether you are the code or the writer of the code. This is where the personal coaching, spiritual studies makes a difference, whether you'll burn out or not. Because if you believe you're the code, then you just go on like animals. And this determines how you handle fate and free will, how much power you give to fate and how much power you get by free will. So this is out of alignment with your elemental composition, then your emotional composition and your mental composition. Out of sync with the circadian rhythms and cycles, seasonal cycles. This is one of the major cause at the body level of being burnt out. Today's world is a world of globalization. 24/7, 365 days, we are working, or at least are connected to every part of the universe, or Earth at least, if not universe. So what that does is, our body is a machine. It needs a break. Becoming aware that I need to get off the grid at some point. If you do not make a conscious effort to either a silence retreat or some sort of a retreat, you cannot be on 24/7, 365 days a week. Now, sometimes some jobs or life situations may force you to do that. Then there's the next one, because at least food, you must eat local, seasonal, and ethnic. Local is ethnic. Local is grown in your area. Seasonal, winter food should not be eaten in summer. Summer food should not be eaten in spring, and so on and so forth. If you don't follow these little things, your body will be under attack. It will burn out. Whether you like it or not, it's a matter of time. And ethnic. This, if you must experience this natural, when we get this, what is it called? Quinoa. It's an ancient food meant for the Incas and Mayas. Why all over the world people are eating quinoa? You have your own ancient grains. Why do we eat? The Incas are not getting it, and we are eating something that is not helping us. We have enough ancient grains. America has ancient grains. India has ancient grains. China has ancient grains. But no, we must go to some other country and get their ancient grain so that they cannot eat, but we can eat. And both are at a loss at the end of it. So that is called ethnic food, local food, and seasonal food. To protect the body, we have to make an effort. Otherwise, it will burn out. It's a machine. Sleep, digital addiction. If you have to work, being in India and the other hemisphere, other time zone, that's fine. But this constantly being connected to the digital world is a major cause of burnout. So becoming conscious, sometime during the day, consciously saying 1 hour, I will not look at my phone, my laptop, and be off the grid. At least that we can do, if not 24 hours. And in the whole year, if you can take 5, 10 days, or even a weekend that you're going to be digital detox, that's going to help you. And sleep. Sleep requires a major cause, because that is where we, at a cellular level, we renew ourselves, but we are not doing that. So making sure that we get sleep, but not 8 hours. Everybody does not need 8 hours. Understanding, going to an Ayurvedic practitioner or a traditional Chinese medicine, in addition to medical, getting the help of modern medicine on how to determine how much sleep you need, and sleeping. Now, there are 3 rules in the area of personal coaching that tells you why you get burnout. One is, biography becomes biology. What is biography? Biography is your story. The stories that we have been taught and told and bought and sold. Oh, I can't do that. I can't have this. This person here doesn't like me, and I cannot do this. And they don't like immigrants, and we don't like brown people. And this is the story, that the narrative is determining your biology. Burnout is at a physical level, biology. And in personal coaching domain, it's called woundology. I'm wounded because of the stories. So becoming aware that what is the narrative that's going on? People are against me. Everybody is against me. I'm uphill journey. I don't have whatever. Becoming aware of that. Personal power is necessary for health. If you want to avoid burnout, you must understand, activate, and work from a place of personal power, because how we define use or do not use power is at the core of burnout and hence our health. So understanding empowerment in personal coaching, I keep talking about empowerment. Why? Because it is at the core of burnout. If you're not in power, somebody will drain you. Then comes you, and you alone can help yourself. People must have heard me say this ad nauseum, that you create your own reality. Unless you take 100% responsibility for your attitudes, your memories, your beliefs, and your choices, you cannot avoid burnout, because somebody will keep pushing you to do more, because you're not loving, honoring, accepting yourself. So you have to prove yourself. So that's one. Stages of burnout. What are the stages of burnout? You must recognize this in yourself or people around you. Please understand this or pay attention to this one. First stage of burnout. You feel there is a strong need to prove yourself. Anytime you have to prove yourself to somebody, the burnout stage has begun. Because you don't have to prove yourself. You can work hard. You can do whatever you want. But that need that they must know how good I am. That is the very start of burnout. Because what is it? Perfectionism. I am not worthy of respect. I'm not worthy of acceptance and honor. But somebody else, if I work more, then I will accept. This perfectionism versus pursuit of excellence. Pursuit of excellence is fine. Perfectionism is not. Perfectionism is, I will prove I am the best. Second stage, you keep working harder and harder to achieve it because you can't. Perfectionism is a goal. It cannot be achieved. Unless you understand that, you will keep working hard. 3 is you begin to neglect your own needs, because if you keep on working hard, what happens? You will start neglecting your own needs, either bodily needs, mental needs, emotional needs, whatever. Fourth is you are conflicted and blame others for the situation. Immediately as you start neglecting your needs, you expect others will fulfill your needs. I don't know how to take care of myself. I don't know how to respect myself, but everybody else must know how to give me space, how to respect me, how to talk to me, how to find out what I'm feeling. But I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't know what I'm doing. So this blame game starts. Fifth one is you change your values to focus more on work. Whatever your original nature is, you stop doing that. You start trying to be somebody else, because you're trying to prove yourself. Then sixth, you deny the problems that arise due to work stress. This can happen, even though this says work stress, it can happen at home also. The problems are starting. You are beginning to disassociate. Your body and mind are disassociating. You're not feeling good. You're blaming others. You're not in your peak, body, mind, but you start denying the problem. No, this is okay. I just didn't sleep yesterday. Oh, this is just jet lag. Oh, this is just this. Oh, after this, whatever. Some rationalization comes in and denial. Seventh stage, you withdraw from social life and your family life as well. You slowly start isolating yourself because you are not yourself. You're afraid to be in the presence of others. When you're in grief, that is what happens. We cannot interact with others. So you slowly withdraw from social life and your family life as well. Eighth stage, your behavior changes, which upsets your loved ones, because what you were before, whether it is a friend, whether it is a spouse, whether it is an employee, what you were when you came into a relationship, it is so changed. You yourself don't recognize yourself, and lo and behold, other people also don't recognize you anymore, because you yourself don't know who you are, what you like, what you want, and you're constantly blaming people. So your behavioral changes will start. You'll start behaving in a way that you never behaved before. You are not jealous, you'll become jealous. You are not angry, you'll be angry. You're not sulking and crying, you'll start sulking and crying. Stage number 9, depersonalization happens. You do not feel like yourself. You become like an animal, driven. There is no personal element to you. You have come pretty much very close to splitting your body and mind. 10th stage, you feel empty and numb, and substance abuse may occur. Substance abuse can be food, can be alcohol, can be drugs, because you're so fragmented that somehow desperately you're trying to feel good. Substance abuse will start. If you see somebody overeating, drinking, everything is fine. Eating is fine, drinking is fine, even occasional recreational drug is okay. But if you depend on it to eat, sleep, and function, you're coming very close to a full burnout. Then after that, you feel depressed, lost, and completely exhausted, because you have You feel you have no control over your life anymore. The final stage is you mentally and physically collapse, full burnout. But we don't have to wait this long. The reason I wanted to do this because I have so many people coming to me where I am seeing the signs from the beginning. And then I said, halt, do something. Stop. Don't go through all this, because the deeper you go into these stages, the more difficult and extra time it will take for you to come out of it. Now, how to avoid burnout? These are only suggestions. Obviously, in a short session like this, we cannot deal with it. And if some of them need medical attention, psychological help, therapy, and all that, must do that. But these are some of the things to keep in mind in the early stages. A Japanese concept called ikigai, which means, first of all, this out of alignment with your nature. We have to start the process, stop and understand, who am I? What do I want? Why don't I have it? How can I get it? These questions, if you ask the first time, you won't get it, not even in the 10th time. But repeatedly, if you make that a focus, because the universe and your mind works on command. If you ask yourself this often enough, guided and very focused questions, the answers will start coming to you. So ask, first of all, what am I good at? Because that is a sign of your elemental composition, your mental predisposition and all that. What am I good at? You alone know. The teachers can say something, parents can say something, but you must know what are you good at. That doesn't mean you will do that for the rest of your life. Just because you're good at something does not mean you will do it. But that is a segue, an entry point into what is my composition, my basic nature, my Swadharma. Then, first of all, what am I good at? Secondly, do I love doing that? That is the second question of, yes, I may be good at cooking, running, stitching, coding, whatever it is. Doesn't mean I love it. Do I love doing it? Because if you love doing it, you will never burn out. Then comes the third. Even if you love it, does the world need this? Why is it important? Because as human beings, when we are living in a community, in a world, there is a transaction going on. And today's world, the transaction, only two things: money and power. Money and influence. If you are not able to, if you don't have money in your hand or power, influence in your hand, you will be dragged through life. No matter what is your Swadharma, you will not be able to uphold it and live it, because you are at the mercy of people who have the money and the power. Your power comes from knowing that I have something to give, offer to the world. So you're good at something. Don't just, most people who they say, oh, so nice, so sweet, so sad that they have to go through this. They have always helped somebody, always gifted people, always. That is the very cause, because you don't have a worth. If you throw your value, your resources at people, you will be taken for that. Understanding that you are good at something, you love to do it, and the world needs it. So there must be a exchange, energy exchange. Always ensure you have an energy exchange. It need not be money, but there must be some exchange. So basically, you get paid for it, or you get a say. You get a say in the house or in the company. Even if you don't get the money in a non-profit, whatever it is, you must have a say. If you don't have a say, you'll get burnt out. Very quickly, you'll get burnt out. Now, another way to deal with burnout, or to put it in a right frame of mind, is Stephen Covey's 3 circles. Understanding that our life comprises of, everything in our life falls into 3 circles. The first circle is circle of concern. We are concerned about so many things in the world, world peace and climate change and wars in remote corners of the earth and whatnot, and human trafficking and what have you. But if you put a lot of energy into things that are in your circle of concern, you will burn out faster than you can write burnout. Next, you have to determine, what is the circle of influence? Do I have any indirect control over there? Not direct control, forget indirect control. Can I write an article? Can I go on a protest? Can I do something? So then bringing your attention to the areas where you have some influence, not control. Finally, figuring out what is the circle of control. I have direct control over my attitude, my beliefs, actions, my behavior, my communication, everything, and certain other things as well. Spending maximum time in issues that are in your area of control. Less time in issues that in your area of influence, very little time, passing time in area of concern. So that will prevent burnout. Now, next is understanding. This is what I do in personal coaching. This is the core of this, the spiritual and psychological aspect of it, is understanding your energetic signature. Because we think what we say and do is causing the transaction. No, your energetic signature is sending different messages to the world. You may want respect, you may want wealth, you may want recognition, but your behavior and thought and feelings are anything but that. So bringing attention to what you think is what you're becoming. If you say something but thinking something else. So this is where personal coaching or introspection, reflection, therapy will help you. What am I thinking? When something is happening to me, what am I thinking? Because if I don't think right, then I'm headed for burnout. What you feel is what you attract, not what you want. So understanding that, yeah, I'm saying it doesn't matter, but it does matter. If you don't acknowledge that and don't do something about that, it will lead to burnout. You cannot override your feelings all the time. Addressing your feelings, being able to communicate, it's not so much about what you say, but how you say it. Whether you choose to say or not to say. What are the parameters of communication? How and when you decide to speak? If you don't do that, burnout. Then what you visualize is what you create. We work very hard, but our visualization falls short of our goals. So if you're working, my favorite example is, of course, weight loss. If I want to lose weight, but I'm not unable to visualize before it has happened. That is what we call in this world of fake it to make it too, because your subconscious doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality as you know it. So we have a goal, we are working towards it, but when somebody gives us a compliment, we cannot accept it. When we get a rejection, we ask for a purchase order, or we ask, we're waiting for something, we don't get it, our visualization falls short. Just because the outside world said no, we decided it is a no. We can never be successful. We cannot never find that loving partner. We can never lose the weight. We cannot ever be successful. So is your visualization in alignment with your goals? If it is not, burnout. Now, we talked about this Maslow's pyramid of self-actualization, which is modern psychology's version of chakra system. There are a hierarchy of needs, and you must be aware of all those needs and work on all those needs, because if you either ignore or get stuck in any one of those needs, burnout. What are those needs? First one is physiological. Roti kapda makan, they say in Hindi. Eat your food, your sleep, and your basic necessities of, living in a society, civilized society. You must take care of it. Second comes safety. You must feel safe in a relationship, in a company, in a community, in a country. You must feel safe. You must do whatever it takes to feel safe, but you cannot go to safety unless your basic physiological needs are met. So even if you don't save, you will go to a place to beg for food, because food triumphs over safety. Now, once you take, most of us get stuck in that safety. We do things from a level of safety. That is called survival. But it will not go away by itself. You will not automatically rise to the next level. You have to make an attempt to saying enough about safety. So next comes love and belonging. That, when we are in a job or in a relationship, a personal relationship, we work so hard to make money, we forget about spending time with our loved ones, to cultivate love and belonging. If you don't do that, a part of you starts dying. Or what happens is people just skip safety, and they're just all they think about, he doesn't love me, she doesn't love me, not realizing that that person is providing safety needs for us. Then comes the first two, physiological and safety is, let's not go into the chakra here because it'll take a lot of time. Then finally comes the physiological, safety, love and belonging. Then comes self-esteem. This is the Manipura chakra. Respect, self-respect. If you cannot respect yourself, please do not expect the world to respect you. And if you don't have respect, what did I say? Money or influence. If you don't have that, You will burn out, you will be treated like an animal, you will be constantly dragged through life, and you will know how to go towards your basic nature, fulfill your basic nature. So that is self-esteem. Finally comes self-actualization. Only when you are empowered can you truly understand that you have free will. You're not just driven by fate. So that is the understanding this at an intellectual level will help you to stop burnout, because if you get stuck in any one of them, you get burnout. So at body, what can we do? At body levels, you need rituals. Please introduce rituals. This very sad when people say these are all religious and thrown it out, all the festivals, whether it is Christmas, whether it is Thanksgiving, whether it is full moon rituals, Hindu rituals, Jewish rituals, Muslim, Islam rituals, doesn't matter. If you're familiar with it or your ethnicity, you have your ancestry brings it, please follow rituals to be in sync with the rhythms and cycles of life. At the mind level, you must learn to process emotions. If you don't, what you feel and what you're trying to tell the other people, if there is a gap, burnout will happen very quickly. And what does the most important practices for that is forgiveness is one big factor, practicing forgiveness and drawing boundaries. If you don't learn to draw boundaries, you will burn faster than a dry stake of hay. Then comes at the spirit level, what you can do is, first of all, spend time, whether on your own or get professional help, getting to know who you are. And once you know it, be that, practice that. Don't try to be somebody else. That's Swadharma we talked about in the beginning. Because the personality, if we go by our personality, we develop our personality our personality is not really a true self. It is a defense against the loss of love, power, and peace. When early childhood, we didn't have unconditional love, we seek approval all our life. When we did not experience power, we force people, and people force us, we allow it to happen. When we have never experienced peace, we use withdrawal. I don't need this, I don't need that, I don't need that as an excuse, because we have never had it. So you will experience these three. And finally, when you're out of alignment with your true nature and out of sync with the rhythms and cycles of life, an illness will come along. A major calamity will happen, where either you lose your job, or you'll have an illness, or you'll have a death, something that will completely throw you off kilter. That will start a burnout, which will be very difficult to recover from. Everything can be recovered, everyone can recover, but the effort will be a lot more. So becoming conscious, and the story of rejection and abandonment, that, oh, I'm alone, I've been rejected, I don't have anything, and learning to a cognitive reframing to one of empowerment. That is why this personal development is so important. The narrative has to change. The stories that you have been taught and told and bought and sold has to change. And from a spiritual perspective, it is called, in Bhagavad Gita, the example given is Ishvara Arpitam and Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. You must have an attitude of, after doing everything, offering it, leaving it at the feet of a higher power. Whatever name you give it, whatever culture conditioning you are used to, whatever image name you give it, doesn't matter. But knowing that there is a higher power that is pervading and orchestrating something, and trying to connect with that power, and also accepting, after doing your best, this perfectionism has to be moved out, and in pursuit of excellence, whatever you receive, you must accept cheerfully the good, the bad, the ugly. And this is put in 4 steps in Bhagavad Gita and Karma Yoga. It says, do your duty. If you don't do your duty, we can't progress in life. And again, that will lead to burnout also. But don't take the weight of the world. Only focus mostly on the circle of control. Less on influence, very little on concern. Do your duty. Do it to the best of your ability. Don't try to be number one all the time. That's perfectionism. The best, and then let it go. Then whatever you get results, offer it to that higher power. You must cultivate a relationship with that higher power. Finally, understand this concept: ask, believe, receive. When you are going through any of those 12 stages I mentioned, you must know you need help. Ask for help. Somebody may or may not give, but believe the universe will give you in some form if you really sincerely mean it. Ask, believe, and receive when the help comes. It may not come in the form you want it. Our ego prevents us from accepting help. Don't let that happen. Ask, believe, and receive, and call in the powers, through prayers, through meditation, through ask. In some religion, they call it angels or gods or saints and sages. Call in power. It is available. It happens all the time. Experiment with it. It'll help you. You don't have to do this alone. You have the help of the universe. The universe has got your back, but it will not interfere with free will. You will need to ask for it. So that's it for burnout. If you actually, I want to do the meditation before taking the question and answer. Let me see. It'll be very short meditation, not a long one, max 10 minutes, perhaps 10, 12 minutes at best. So please prepare yourself, find a place where you can sit for 10 minutes undisturbed, preferably sitting, but if you have pains and aches, you can lie down and, set the intention not to sleep. Close your eyes and focus on your breath, the air coming in, and breathe out. Again, breathe in and expand, and breathe out and relax. One more time. Breathe in and breathe out. Let us collectively invoke love inside us and send it out to encircle the earth with a wish to give birth to a more responsible, compassionate, and conscious human species going forward. Let us invoke and cultivate forgiveness, because when someone has been unjust to you, you are filled with wrath and resentment. You cannot forgive that person, and as time rolls by, another person does the same thing to you. Because you have a picture of injustice engraved in your subconscious that has become your energy signature. There is only one way to neutralize it: to become absolutely undisturbed by the injustice and send goodwill to all concerned while making sure that you are safe. Affirm, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. And thus, I love and accept others exactly as they are right now. The door to my heart opens inward. I move through forgiveness to the core of unconditional love. Now let us invoke and cultivate the principle of self-esteem. No one keeps you out of your goodness but yourself. A thought form of self-pity is one of the most dangerous you can have. The more you pity yourself, the worse things get. Be above the worry belt in consciousness, and then you can have instantaneous manifestations of your best goals. Your success, happiness, or abundance come to pass in the twinkling of an eye. Affirm, I am a magnet for all good because I choose to think positively. I love and approve of myself and easily choose thoughts that nourish me, thoughts that empower me rather than disempower me. Now let us invoke and cultivate the energy of money. Money is a symbol of freedom and is a part of the divine plan. There is an invisible supply for you to draw upon, as as also it is available to everyone. It is the bank of imagination. Affirm, I am grateful for what I have, and I am constantly attracting more wealth and abundance to be grateful for. Gratitude is the law of increase, and complaint is the law of decrease. So affirm, thank you, thank you, thank you, universe, for all that I have right now and for the manifestation of invisible supply of health, happiness, success, contentment, and peace. I truly believe that we are here to bless and prosper each other. And I truly believe that life supports me in wondrous ways. Now let us cultivate the principle of health inside us. A person who is low spirited or inharmonious will contract a cold, but a happy, fearless person will be immune to germs. This is the law of health. A harmonious person is never vibrating at the same rate as the germ. So affirm, my body is a mirror of my inner thoughts and beliefs. I love and approve of myself and easily choose thoughts that nourish me. Let us cultivate future possibilities. Do not limit yourself to one station radio of life. Tune in with infinite intelligence. Look with amazement at that which is before you, with a fixed idea that your supply comes from infinite intelligence. Understand that you can tap into the infinite intelligence and not be strapped by your own intelligence, which is limited. Affirm, I will always be provided for in both big and little ways. The big things in life will come easily to me because I have no doubts or fears. I live fully in today and bring my future into the now. Life loves me. I am safe in the universe, which fully loves and supports me and has my back. Take a deep breath in, and we will end with a prayer. Dear God and universe, today I ask for and open myself to receive a new image of myself. I recognize that in your eyes I am perfect as I am. I understand that if there is anything about my body that I choose to change, you have empowered me to do so. I have the power of free will. I have the power of choice. Today, I'm choosing to change how I see myself, change how I speak to myself, and change how I present myself to the world. I am choosing to see myself as you see me. I am choosing to surrender, release, and heal all negative, toxic, unloving thoughts about my body and my mind, and to accept myself as your beautiful creation. I ask if there is anything within me that is not pleasing to you, that it be lifted. I ask that all habitual, unconscious thoughts, beliefs, and memories about my body and my past be brought into alignment with your thoughts, beliefs, and plans for me. I ask for the strength and courage to make any changes that are required so that I will accept myself, honor myself, and love myself just as you do. I let it be. I give myself permission to receive your love and light. And so it is, by the grace of God and Guru, so it is. Take a deep breath in and release. Take another deep breath in and expand. And exhale and release. Remain in this sacred silence for just a moment. And when you're ready, only when you're ready, open your eyes.